What's up, guys? This is Trainer Kyle coming at you live from my living room, and I wanted to do the first installment of hopefully a series of question and answer videos where you guys send me in questions that you would like me to answer, fitness related or not. So coming at you with question and answer number one, and I've got a couple questions here, obviously all through Twitter, where you guys have asked me some questions, and I'll go ahead and start answering them. The first one comes from @Jermay. I don't know how you intend that to be pronounced, but it's @JURMEH, aka Superman. So there you go. All right, and Superman asks, what is the best training program or whatever to get mass in the biceps? So how can I get my biceps bigger? And I think the answer to that question is you have to understand what the biceps do. You have to understand how it works. And the first point I want to make is that there's sort of the misconception, especially in bodybuilding, that in order to gain mass, to get big, really all you need to be focusing on are those compound movements. So things like heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, heavy rows, heavy presses, anything like that, because those are your heavy movements, compound movements, so therefore they make you big. You know, not necessarily true in a from a bodybuilding standpoint. You know, if you're more concerned about just strength and power output, powerlifting, absolutely. But a bodybuilder standpoint, his goal is to maximize muscle hypertrophy in every muscle group. So it's not really accurate to say you should, if you're trying to get bigger, you should do all compound movements. When you look at, heavy row type movements, they're great exercises for your lats. Not so much for the biceps though. If you know anything about training your lats, you'll know that if you, through a mind-muscle connection, if you correctly perform your rows or your pull-down type movements and you're correctly stimulating the lat muscles, you're not really stimulating the biceps that much. You are, but if you're doing it right, you should be getting most of the response from your lats. So to really stimulate the biceps, you have to train the biceps specifically. So that brings me on to my point. You need to know what the biceps do. And I think most people understand that biceps are responsible for elbow flexion, or bringing the hand towards the shoulder. That is elbow flexion in terms of joint action. All right, most people understand that. If you want to do your biceps, elbow flexion. But they don't really understand the other, primary function of the bicep, which would be supination at the wrist. So that means turning your wrist or your palm upwards. So this would be supination. So a supinated grip would be palm up, as opposed to a neutral grip being neutral, and a pronated grip being palm down. And you'll see that referred to in the bodybuilding world as overhand grip or pistol grip or underhand grip for people that don't call it by the actual name. All right. So again, biceps have two functions: elbow flexion and supination. So in terms of your bicep training, when you train biceps, make sure that you are incorporating both joint actions into your training. So a lot of, different variations of barbell curls would not be sufficient for training the biceps because you do not incorporate both joint actions. You're only doing the elbow flexion. That would pretty much ignore supination. So when you train biceps, do your exercises that really hammer the elbow flexion. Barbell curls are great. You can put a lot of tension on the muscles there, a lot of resistance. But also I would suggest doing at least one or two exercises that maybe with dumbbells or maybe a cable if you can. Something where you start either completely pronated or in the neutral grip where you supinate on the way up so that you're getting that other joint action in there as well. And the best way to really bring up any muscle group is to understand the functions of that muscle, what joint actions are they responsible for, and when you train that muscle, hit it with all joint actions. So perform all of the joint actions that muscle is responsible for. That's how you bring up a muscle. So do that. So make sure you hit all joint actions. And then also another thing that people I think do wrong when they train biceps is they put too much stress on the anterior deltoid. And you'll see this a lot with heavy barbell curls. Guys will do this sort of leaning over and rocking and just really jerking weight up. And if you look at it from the side, you'll see that the range of motion is just not there. it looks a lot like this, where they'll bend over as opposed to staying upright and lowering the weight. They'll just bend over until it touches their knees and then come up and bring it up to the shoulder. So when you look at the actual range of motion in the elbow, it's only a couple inches. So make sure that you're, through a mind-muscle connection, you're keeping the tension in your bicep all the way throughout the motion. So don't use a weight that's too heavy for you to, really control it on the way down, get a full range of motion, come back up, control it on the way down, keeping the tension in the biceps and not in the anterior deltoid. And that's why I really advocate that you, in every bicep workout, you throw in some type of isolation type exercise where your arm and your elbow is stationary and you can focus really on the bicep, put the tension in the bicep. Concentration curls work really good with dumbbells, just nice slow contractions. And what I like to do a lot is I'll get on the seated cable row machine, grab one of the cables and put the pin on the lowest setting, and I'll sit on the floor with my arm up on the bench and curl to my face. So it'd look like this. If this couch was the seated row bench, I would be with the cable right here, and just very slow controlled motion right there. It's taking all the stress off the anterior deltoid, making me keep the tension in my bicep. So I love doing those. So 3 big points. You got to train the biceps to grow the biceps. A lot of heavy rows don't exactly stimulate the biceps that much. You have to understand what the biceps do. Elbow flexion and supination, hit both of those. 3rd point being, don't put too much in the anterior deltoid. Keep the tension in the biceps. All right, and I hope that helps. All right, so do that with your bicep training. And I would, if you're really trying to bring those biceps up, give them maybe an entire workout dedicated to training your biceps. A solid, 30-40 minute session on just biceps, where you can throw it at the end of another muscle group. Now, next question. At Healthy for Life 2 asks, should I stretch before or after my warm-up? And I think this is pretty easy. You should stretch after your light warm-up. So your muscles respond to static stretching better when they're warm. So after you've got your body temperature up, your blood is circulating, then you perform your static stretching. Static stretching is you're just stretch and hold for 15 seconds or so and then relax. So I think that pretty much covers that. So when I lift weights, I'll do maybe 3 to 5 minutes on an elliptical or treadmill or a bike, just to get my body temperature up, get my blood circulating, and then I'll go through my static stretching. All right. Next question. At Just a Skinny BTCH asks 2 questions really. The first one: what is your inspiration to educate people on fitness and health? I don't know. I've never really thought about that. I think it's because when I started out working out, I was very overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what supplements to take. I didn't know who to listen to. And I wasted a lot of time. It took me a long time to get where I wanted to be. And I'm still not where I want to be. I don't think anybody's ever going to be where they want to be. But I have so much fun with fitness, and I love it so much. I think everybody should be able to access, I don't know if access is the right word, but everybody should be able to have that healthy life that they enjoy. It's, fitness information, I can't stand to see people charge for, information. Like, to me, this is stuff that should be readily available to anybody who wants to live the healthy lifestyle. You should be able, this stuff is commonly, it's easily available. I want to make it as easy as possible for anybody who's interested in being healthy. I just like helping people, I guess. I don't know. I just like helping people, and the fitness industry is widely misunderstood. The human body is widely misunderstood, and I want to make it easy and convenient, and I just like the satisfaction of helping people. I don't know. Maybe I'm lame. She also asked, same person, why do you teach? Why the subject? I'm a social studies teacher. As far as why do I teach, just for all of you out there, my job is better than your job. Okay, and I don't mean to, I'm not arrogant at all. I'm sure you love your job, but I love my job. People say, Kyle, I don't see how you could be a teacher. And I always respond, I don't see how you could not want to be a teacher, because it is the best, most rewarding, satisfying job in the world. Just helping people. I love learning myself, and I love being that inspiration to my students, that motivating factor, even if it's only a couple of students per semester, but you get those that you know that you've really inspired to look into something or to make good of themselves. You've really helped them out and make them enjoy their time. I don't know, I teach high school. I don't like little kids as much, but I guess I'm young at heart. I connect to my students very well. Shout out to Central High School kids. I know y'all are watching this. What's happening? I love all you guys. I love you with a passion. You know, and then why do I teach my subject? I'm all about being free to do what you want to do. So I love social studies. I love talking about the role of government in my life and in my students' lives. I love opening their eyes to, you know, just what goes on. You know, economics, government, political theory, history. It's all, to me, very relevant at understanding the life we live today in the United States. And I think it's important that we educate our young populations so that they can make informed decisions when they go to vote. I don't know, I'm a nerd. I love it. I'm a complete dork, and I'm okay with that. So that answers the big three questions I had. Final thing that was requested in this first question and answer video was from one of my softball players. She wants me to shout out with the softball team. We finished 3rd in the state this year. Not trying to be, you know, on my horse, but that's pretty good. So shout out to Central High School Lady Lions softball. We're going to run it next year. You know, Buford, we're coming after that ring. So I hope you guys like my Q&A. Please send me more questions. Please follow me on Twitter. It's @TrainerKyle. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys later.